Yes, everyone. I'm going to be speaking a little louder, or I'm going to do my best because I'm realizing that I should probably get a microphone. But I pray everyone has been doing well. I feel like it's been forever since I made a video, even though it's only been a week. So that's interesting, and I want to address that. But I've been wondering, why is it that it feels as though it's been so long since I made a last video? And I am factoring in the fact that as of recently, I have put myself out of my comfort zone. In that decision, a lot happened that made me grow and develop in a way that I wasn't expecting. It wasn't all positively charged, but it ultimately gave me strength in certain areas that I was needing. Also, it opened my eyes to a lot of things that I had to leave behind and that I was naturally leaving behind, right? So let me break it down for you. When we are undergoing a transformation or we are changing something significantly in our lives, in this case, this might be a state of depression, being in a state of depression. There are many ideas, beliefs, behaviors, thought patterns that are familiar, but are ones that we are naturally going to leave behind. And not only naturally do we leave them behind, we actually have to make a choice to leave them behind, or we have to let certain things go in order to truly feel a state of wellness or get out of that state. It doesn't even have to be related to depression. You can relate this to any area of your life where, you want to have a different experience. You want to live a different lifestyle. So therefore, there are a lot of things that you have to let go. Sometimes there's resistance to letting certain things that are familiar go. And on a cellular level, on a biological level, this is where there is much challenge, because a lot of these neural pathways are solidified within our being, right? And so our body is just going to naturally flow in this direction. Our biology is basically programmed, right? You hear people talk about programs. So we anticipate, we expect something to happen, and therefore our body has adapted to that, right? We're adaptable beings. So this is where it can be very challenging. Now, I learned about how our chakras, or these energy centers within our body, and each center or each cluster of neurons, they are assigned to different aspects of our lives, right? So it might be survival, it might be creativity, maybe it's the way that we act, and where we base our actions from. Perhaps it's the frequency of love, the way we express ourselves, things of that nature, right? So I'm going to keep things very general so that we can get to the heart of what I'm talking about, and that is going through this transformation and letting go of things and the challenges that arise, and how we might choose, or consciously or unconsciously choose, to not let go of something and therefore feel trapped. As a result of feeling stuck or trapped, we start to experience depression. We start to behave in ways that will allow us to cope with the pain of not fully undergoing that transformation.
Now
You grow wise. You realize where certain things were dysfunctional in your life, were not serving you as a being, as a soul, right? And so you're aware of this. You want to make this change, but you don't understand why you are not making those changes. And there is an aspect, and a very necessary aspect, where it is very helpful to understand that your willpower is the strongest and most important factor in this. You have to will to do things. Things are not just going to be handed to you in the most easy and instantly gratifying way, right? So that's a very empowering thing to realize and to recognize, is that you make the choice, and every choice you make is going to have a consequence. And if you continuously choose to do things in a direction that does not serve you any longer, then that will always be your result, and you will continue to go down that path. And I like to question, why is it that we do that? It's not like we want to continue to live this way. And something that I've come to find is that we associate certain things to love. So let's say we're talking about the heart chakra, and you had an experience where you loved eating grilled cheese, and every time you ate a grilled cheese, you shared that meal with your brother, and that was your time to bond with your brother. That was your time to enjoy moments of laughter, or whatever it is, the sentiment that came from eating this particular food with this person and bonding in such a way. Fast forward a million years, you decide one day that you are going to be a raw vegan, and you just have to go through a detox. This is a very interesting example for those of you who are not at all in the vibration of any of this stuff. But anyways, you're going through a detox, and not only that, you are missing your brother. Your brother just went away to college, and you just miss him so much. So yes, you have associated this grilled cheese with the love of your brother and sharing that space with your brother. But now you are making the conscious decision, you are using your willpower to eat a raw diet. You no longer want to eat bread or wheat or cheeses, or doesn't matter if it's vegan or not. You have made a conscious decision. You are going raw. These cravings start to kick in, and you think about this grilled cheese. You feel the sentiment that was shared with eating this grilled cheese. And now you are not only dealing with this physical adaptation to eating a certain food, you are also dealing with the emotional aspect of eating that food, the feeling of being close with this individual, right? So that is very challenging to deal with that, because we are emotional beings. And some people, they're not as emotionally charged. They're not necessarily moving through their emotional state. But this is just one example of how our bodies and our minds work together and make these associations that make these transformations very challenging for certain individuals. In order to get out of that state of being, we have to really practice. We have to repeat this action of something new, and also make new associations, right? So creating a new association to the change that you're making. So let's say your goal is to only eat raw vegan foods or raw vegetarian foods. What could serve is, when you are behaving in that way, you can start to associate that connection and that bonding to that action. And you can play with that. You can be creative with that. Utilize that to your advantage. So that in of itself is just an awareness. And in reality, what needs to happen is a change, a conscious decision, a choice, right? In one moment, in any given moment, right? But I say this because that awareness can very well help you have a better understanding of yourself. And to navigate it in such a way where you can see your blind spots. You can understand, oh, okay, that's interesting. I'm having resistance here. I'm having trouble with this. What is going on with me? What is it about this that is so attractive? And from there, you can move forward and decide for yourself something new, right? So it's about having an awareness and then making a decision of what it is that you would like to integrate your new awareness as. What would you like to reassociate this experience as, right? You could associate a bell pepper with some hummus to your love of being in a spacious outdoor setting, right? Or associating it to sharing space with individuals who are going to help promote the growth that you want to make in your life. So you're making new associations. You're utilizing your awareness to see where it is that you feel triggered, where it is that you might unconsciously go for something that you know you shouldn't. So I have a perfect example for this. Long ago, I was experiencing extreme depression, and not only this, I just felt like shit in every sense of the word, right? And I underwent a detox. I was taking many different pills. I was taking like 18 pills a day. I was eating only meat and nothing else. Like, I don't know, it was a crazy thing that I was experiencing. Oxygen therapy, physical therapy, all sorts of things to get my mind right. I went to a friend's house, right? I was feeling great too. Like, I was really fit. I felt way more clear, way more open, way more energized as a result of going through this program. And I went to a friend's house, right? This is the familiar setting. And I didn't even realize, but I was drinking wine. And I was like, damn, I feel good. Why do I feel so good? I haven't felt this good in a while. And then I realized, oh shit, I'm not supposed to be drinking this, right? But unconsciously, I went for that because I was in this setting. So you can kind of realize, okay, this is going to be an environment where this might trigger something within me. This might make me want to behave a certain way, or I won't even realize that I'm doing that destructive thing that I've been working so hard to get myself out of. So you can prepare yourself. Maybe you bring yourself some water, or you make yourself some kind of concoction that is in alignment with what you need and what you are practicing, right? So it's all about preparation and awareness. Now, how can we utilize this awareness on a deeper level? So back to the chakras. Every chakra, every nerve cluster, every energy center associated to a particular thing. So what I like to do when I do a chakra meditation is I will breathe light into my root. I'm going to talk about the root. I'll breathe red light into my root because there's colors associated to each energy center. So I'll breathe it in, I'll saturate this area with this red light. Upon the exhale, I send that light deeper onto a cellular level, right? So I'm sending it even deeper. And you can use your visualization, your imagination to really create this space. You can get visuals online of what it might look like, that actual nerve cluster, what it might look like to look at of your nerve cells. It's helpful to have visuals, but you can make them up for yourself. So I breathe this red light into my root. I send it deeper onto a cellular level. From there, when I breathe in, I expand that light around that chakra. So this is a meditation that I practice, and it comes from Dr. Joe Dispenza. But this is how I've kind of utilized my own creativity in order to transcend that practice and to create something special for myself that I find very effective. So anyways, I will expand that light as I'm instructed around the center, and then I experience it even beyond my body, but that's still the central point. So now when I'm breathing in, I'm not only breathing into that small area, I'm breathing in around that nerve cluster. I'm breathing it around that nerve cluster, expanding out all the way beyond my body. Once I get to that point of being beyond my body, I imagine my own light body, right? So these energy centers. I picture that root center as the only thing that exists as myself. Like, I see the infinitely expanding sky, or almost as if I'm sitting in space, or my root is floating in space. But upon the exhale, I'm always sending that light deeper into that cellular level. So this is kind of getting your chakra center into this 0 point field, into this state of no place, no time. You're really creating a flow of energy within that center. Once you get into a certain state of being and you feel the vibrations of breathing that energy into that state, you can start to reprogram this center. So the way that it was described to me in the book Becoming Supernatural, every center is like a mini brain. So every chakra center has a subconscious and a conscious mind. Now, it is to my understanding that the subconscious mind is really what is creating and being reflected back to you in your reality. More often than not, it is the imprint that was created between your birth and age 7. So if you are unaware, a lot of the times the reasons why you're experiencing things is because you have had a specific program set within you from till you were up to 7. From there, your life is really building upon that foundation. I kind of related that and correlated that to the fact that every center is like a mini brain with a subconscious and a conscious mind, right? So you're just breaking things down. When you get into that state where you're reprogramming this one particular mind, in this case, it's the root, which is associated to security, to safety, things of this nature. So once you've gotten into that state, you can actually start to reprogram the circuitry within this mini brain. So how do you do that? Well, you utilize your own affirmation. You affirm to this center, and you put yourself or your center into the vibration of security. So how would you feel if you were in a secure space? You are secure financially, mentally, emotionally. You start to imagine, use your imagination to put your desired vibration or program your desired vibration into that center. Another thing you can do is ask yourself, what is it that you believed about yourself before? What was the belief that no longer serves you? What is the belief that you wish to change as it relates to security? So perhaps in this case, it's I don't have enough money, I don't have a safe place to live, this is hard, this is impossible, everybody's out to get me, all these different things. So you acknowledge that, not from a place of judgment, not from a place of self-hatred or distaste or anger or blame or victimization. You just simply acknowledge it in that center. You observe it. And as you observe that, you ask yourself, what are the emotions that arise when I think these things? As I acknowledge what has been programmed into this center, what emotions come up? Well, I feel angry. I feel sad. I feel heartbroken, right? So again, you are acknowledging through observation. You're not judging yourself. You're just simply watching this center and observing, and you're asking yourself questions. From there, you affirm to that. You program into that center, and you say, I no longer believe this. This is the willpower. This is the choice, the change. So you affirm to your center, I no longer believe this. And you can just breathe in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. The red light, or you could just naturally. You don't even have to do color visualization if that complicates things. You just breathe in and out of this center and affirm to yourself. You just make a single affirmation that you no longer believe this, you no longer choose to subscribe to this. Once you kind of get settled into that vibration, then you can move on into this state where you are reprogramming something new. What is it that you want for yourself? What is the new belief? What is the new choice? What is the decision that you are making for yourself as far as recreating this brain of yours that for so long has been controlling you for various different reasons? So this all is coming into play. These are all parts of transformation. There is levels to anything that you do in your life. So in one instance, there is just this very general, grilled cheese associated to love analogy, and then the new association that could be made from, bell pepper and hummus to communing with people you actually like, right? So that's kind of the general level. But now I'm going into that biological cellular level. You're acknowledging the fact that you have these beliefs, you're making a conscious decision that you no longer want to believe these things, and then you're reestablishing something new. So I pray that this video is helpful in any way, and if you like this video, please feel free to subscribe to my channel, like it, share it, comment. Yeah, I encourage you to get out of your comfort zone, to just observe yourself when you put yourself in different situations and see where there are things that you want to let go of, see where there are things that you need to let go of, and just have some time to reflect, have some time to inquire and to sit in silence and to really process what is going on in your life. Allow the reflection of your life to help guide you in the direction that you want to go, as opposed to observing what's going on and then victimizing yourself or being mad at the world. So I really appreciate y'all, and I pray for the peace, I pray for the love, and just the overall wellness of all of humanity, and of course our beautiful water that is coursing through our veins. So yeah, drink water.